Today I'm with Miss Suhu, who's a member of the Ardsley Story Quilt and is designing her own square. So my first question for her is, can you share a little bit about your background and what inspired you to start creating art?
Sure. I guess art has always been a part of my life because I really enjoy doing a lot of arts and crafts, and probably comes from my family growing up, and it's always kind of been my way to relax. And so it has nothing to do with like my actual real work, but it's definitely my escape from like the everyday.
So what were the biggest challenges you faced in the early stages of your journey with the story quilt and how did you overcome them?
It was so I think conceptually we were supposed to have squares that expressed like our background and our family and our ethnicity and our connection to the community. And so to find one singular theme that distills all of that was the most challenging because it clearly had to be something meaningful and personal. And so I guess it was by luck that my daughter happened to have been working on a t-shirt design for school that seemed actually very in sync with ultimately the idea that I had settled on for the quilt, which is what anchored our family to the community, which was, Concord Road School.
So what inspired you to join the Ardsley Story Quilt?
I think it was probably from the pandemic. We had just moved to the Ardsley community, and our kids hadn't yet started school in the district, and so we felt very isolated during the pandemic because we didn't really have a village or a community to lean on. And so I had said to myself, once that was over, that we would definitely try to become more involved. And when this project came across my board, I was like, oh, this is perfect because I love, quilting, the idea of quilting and fabrics and meeting other like-minded people, and hopefully we can all have a joint purpose and create something beautiful and meaningful together.
Was the story quilt your first time working with like stitching the same type of quilt? Like I don't know if that makes sense. Like was it your first time doing that type of art?
Yeah, I think my grandmother, we used to bond by doing cross stitch kits when I was a little kid, and so that's probably like the last time I really actually did any stitching, like needlepoint. But I had always had grand aspirations of making a quilt one day. I really like the Hawaiian style quilting, and life gets in the way, you never get to do it. And so this is really the first time I've ever worked with a whole bunch of other people to create like a patchwork quilt and a unified piece of art together, and it's very unique in itself. I don't think it resembles any other quilt that I've seen before. Yeah.
So can you talk about how the Ardsley Story Quilt impacted you as an individual and also your community?
I had a lot of fun doing it. It brought out a lot of like I guess creativity and imagination and inspiration that I hadn't really tapped into in a really long time. And it was rejuvenating, meeting a lot of new people in the community that I never would have come across in my day-to-day. And they're all so lovely, and it's been really fun getting to know everybody and getting to know everybody's personal story and realizing that we all have shared feelings about inclusiveness and wanting to bring joy and our stories of love to the community.
So do you think that the story quilt will also help like future generations could look back, because there are quilts in the historical society that have been made, so this one would also be there. So do you think it's going to be something people can look back on and help connect with each other?
I hope so. I guess that was our goal. If anything, hopefully something very beautiful for people to enjoy, and to want to be curious about all the makers and the quilt, and hopefully inspiration for other people to create their own as well.
Okay, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you.